आज की डेट में भी अगर मैं देखूं the amount of hard work that's been put in, interaction with the audience live face to face, उतना results शायद financially नहीं मिल पाते होंगे, but जो satisfaction मिल पाती है on the spot connecting with the audience is much more than that.
You feel like crying, but is it actually pain itself? It's not pain. It's ananda. You enjoy it actually. So you want to see that movie again, or you bring people you love to that movie to make them watch it again, right? The present state of AI can generate better movie scripts, better novels, better almost anything than a human being. Several people get a start in theatre on the stage, but once they get into television or into cinema, they don't come back because theatre is hard, It's hard because it needs to be hard because it's not a recorded medium. जो audience है वो भी उसको शरीर location पे लाना पड़ेगा और actors they have to bring their bodies to the stage और एक ही देश काल में experience creation और experience करना दोनों एक ही जगह में एक ही समय में होना चाहिए, which is why it makes it sacred. It's the only kind of experience that is, it's the only through theatre such an experience is possible. It's like for people to put in simple terms, you can watch a live cricket match or football match on television, but it's not the same thing as being on location. So.
Voice aajKal, our medium, your message.
Good day everyone, my name is Navneet Anand from Voice aajKal, our medium, your message. Absolute delighted to have a multi-talented, multilingual actor, director, writer, theatre artist, activist, engineer and whatnot, Prakash Belawadi. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है जी.
Thank you, Navneet ji.
Looking at the family, out of a family of 5, 3 मेरे ख्याल से theatre artist हैं.
We are a family of 4, my sister, me, then my younger sister, and then my youngest brother. The 4 of us, all 4 are artists. Parents were artists. The house I grew up in was named Green Room.
अरे वाह.
So we are a theatre family.
Yeah. कहते भी the path was set up at the very, very early age.
That's right, yeah. But before my father met my mother, they were both theatre people already. So,
Lovely.
Although they were all amateur theatre people, there was no money in theatre, so they had different jobs. But theatre is their love and passion.
अभी आपने बोला there was no money in theatre. आज की डेट में भी अगर मैं देखूं the amount of hard work that's been put in, interaction with the audience live face to face, उतना results शायद financially नहीं मिल पाते होंगे, but जो satisfaction मिल पाती है on the spot connecting with the audience is much more than that.
It's true maybe, but not fully for everybody, right? Because several people get a start in theatre on the stage, but once they get into television or into cinema, they don't come back. Because, see, I'll give you an example. I'm acting in a professional play in Australia, but the salary I get per week here is less than the salary I'll get in maybe half a day in India if I'm acting in a film. So it's theatre is hard, It's hard because it needs to be hard because it's not a recorded medium, because जो audience है वो भी उसको शरीर location पे लाना पड़ेगा और actors they have to bring their bodies to the stage और एक ही देश काल में experience creation और experience करना दोनों एक ही जगह में एक ही समय में होना चाहिए, which is why it makes it sacred. It's the only kind of experience that is, it's the only through theatre such an experience is possible. It's like for people to put in simple terms, you can watch a live cricket match or football match on television, but it's not the same thing as being on location. So, yeah,
It is the experience on the ground.
Yes, it's the, see, there is a word for it, that I will use. it is the aesthetic, What is the aesthetic, I'll tell you, supposing you're performing a play or even in a movie, if you see a man and a woman, or both beautiful people by themselves, but there are misunderstandings, and if their romance doesn't work out, if they break up, you feel like crying. But is it actually pain itself? It's not pain. It's ananda. You enjoy it actually. So you want to see that movie again, or you bring people you love to that movie to make them watch it again, right? So what is that? It is not experience itself. It's an aesthetic of the experience, So this is the power of art, that things that have happened to you in your own life, when you may have wept, when you recognize that in somebody else's story and you cry again, you don't not experience the same pain. You're now experiencing it as an aesthetic from empathy, that you have the feeling for the other person now. So to me it's a very spiritual and sacred thing, theatre. And there are many reasons why even more important it is, because of recorded medium becoming more and more powerful. When the Hollywood writers went on strike last year, the strike lasted some 140, 150 days, I don't remember exactly, but it lasted for 4 or 5 months. And before the settlement happened, in September. And during that time, somebody interviewed, a media expert and asked him, one of the fears that the writers had was that they'll be replaced by AI. And they asked, how valid are the fears? And this is what he said. He said, the present state of AI can generate better movie scripts, better novels, better almost anything than a human being. It's the idea is scary.
It's scary.
To make a movie, you may not need anybody except the owner of a project. An owner of a project may deploy AI to generate the story, generate all the characters, generate all the background images, generate the music, generate the songs. And I know that I gave a lecture as a chief guest to a very premier engineering college in India, and the student who was my campus guide for the 2 days I was there, he was driving me around. I was talking about AI, and he told me, I cannot say this to my professor, but I can tell you that whatever assignment they give us now, we just get AI to solve it. AI can write a programming the language of your choice. It can write a program. We just any question that is the home assignment we given, we get AI to solve it. Today. So it's a scary thing. In such a time, imagine the power of theatre.
I fully agree, but at the same time, see what happened a couple of days ago with that cloud-based IT scare that happened. The flights were abandoned, the flights were delayed, the banks could not do the transactions as they were doing on a regular basis. AI will replace a human brain. To me, that is still a question mark. To what extent they will replace?
See, Navneet, I've heard this before, but let me put it to you this way. I come from India.
Ji.
आप भी चंडीगढ़ से है.
Yes.
We grew up where maybe in a week, about 2 days, banks will not be functioning properly. Correct?
We were used to it.
Right? So but technology has made it, we are so spoiled. Even 1 hour down, if Microsoft is down for 1 hour, internet is down for 1 hour, we make such a fuss. We waited when we went to a bank for 1 hour on a bench, for to be serviced, right? So I'm saying AI will make fewer and fewer mistakes. And let me put it this way. Robots will make very few mistakes, compared to humans. Okay?
Lack of emotions.
Not just lack of emotions. It's a machine.
Programmed to deliver in a sense.
Yeah, and it doesn't have moods. It doesn't get tired, right? So what will happen is, supposing you have to do cancer surgery, which is very precise. You have to surgery at a molecular, cellular level, let us say. You have to do surgery. Would you trust a human being to be precise like that? It's not possible. We can't even see at that, See that the intervention can be done only with machine learning, directed by machines, with automation, with robotic intervention, right? And today, microchips have to be manufactured and designed by microprocessing systems, because at nano levels, the human being cannot see. It's human capability that creates it, but humans are no longer capable of doing it themselves. They're not. You cannot replace the machine anymore. So we've created systems which are machine dependent. I think so. We're going to have a future where, with software 2, Web 3, with automation,
Driverless cars.
machine learning, driverless cars, nanotechnologies, programmable materials.
As we were talking about, we were so used to of waiting in a bank for hour and a half, and that was very, very natural.
For
and
what?
usual.
To withdraw money.
That's it. Right?
There'll be a token number.
Your own money.
You're just waiting, right?
Yeah. The kind of scares and headaches and troubles that we had as a child versus the problems that children have today is net is slow, phone battery is almost going finished.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any signals at the moment.
Yeah.
I think the whole segment has changed. There's a big shift.
See, in 2023, last year, at the end of the financial year, imagine a country like India. India had done more online real-time transactions than the USA, China, and the UK put together. Just an unbelievable thing.
Unbelievable. The Y2K scare.
Yeah, India had done more transactions online. An online transaction will be real-time transaction is that you pay and you get the product or service, within a few minutes maximum, a couple of minutes or 4 minutes maximum, you get it. Those transactions were done. See, I was sitting I had to pay for visa processing because we have to get a performance visa. We're going to New York, when we come to the topic, with our play. But we have to get a performance visa for that. And I have to generate that visa out of India because I'm an Indian citizen. And I made the payment from the back of the theater, in Sydney, while a performance was going on in between. I called my wife to take her through it. She paid by UPI in India. Okay? And the Australians were amazed that, that their real-time transaction could be done, to the US embassy, so quickly.
I think India is no more the country of snake charmers only.
Yeah.
India has grown to a level. I normally say, to experience India, you gotta be in India on the ground, and then you see the incredible India that we talk about.
You need to go a little beyond. There are many bad things that are happening as well,
Yeah,
when you say
good and bad both.
When you say snake charmers, I mean there'll be no snakes because with population explosion, the human-animal conflict becoming so large, with the urbanization spaces, snakes are getting killed, for instance. So lots of bad happens. But the way, Western media reports India is a little bit ridiculous. See, for instance, we'll take the one political figure who is a figure of controversy, abroad, Narendra Modi. Now a lot of people don't like him. So a lot of people like him as well. He like a Donald Trump, right? But the thing is, in India, more states are ruled by opposition parties than Modi's BJP. But Western media is lazy. They're not well informed. They don't understand the complexity of India. India is not ruled by Narendra Modi alone. India is ruled by a number of chief ministers, the 30 odd states, with different systems with different political parties. And many of them are virulently opposed to Narendra Modi, and they do not let him go forward than he should. He still doesn't have more than 40% of the vote of India.
That's right.
So 60% of India is not Narendra Modi's India. So the Western media, when it reports, it doesn't report, with the truth really, because it doesn't have sufficient number of facts to do the reporting. And they also deploy Indian journalists to do the reporting who come with deep-rooted prejudices. They can be against or for or against. In India, you have the right to be for or against Modi.
That's right.
So it's okay. But not to tell the truth is the problem. So I was telling somebody that, in Bangalore, for instance, I come from Bangalore, we have a new metro line called Yellow Line. And the track is ready. All the pillars, the viaduct, everything is ready. The stations are ready. The signaling is ready. We don't have trains. Because there are so many cities in India building the metro, that we don't have trains. India itself is manufacturing trains. They manufacture trains even for Sydney.
Even for Sydney, the metro.
But but they're contracted, so we don't have trains. We're trying to book from China or from South Korea, and but the supply is not, fast enough to meet the demand. That rapidly it's growing. One last example I'll give. Last year I acted in a play. When I came here for rehearsals, they asked me if I'd taken a booster shot. I said, yes, I've taken. No, because if you would like to take the 4th shot also, please ask now, because we'll have to ask somebody to expedite that and get it to you in 2 weeks. I said, 1 week ago I got my booster shot. I live in Jayanagar, in a suburb in Bangalore. It's no longer a suburb, it's now central Bangalore. I called Apollo Hospital, saying I want to take, a booster shot. They said, come. I walked to Apollo Hospital. It took 20 minutes, okay? In 5 minutes, I got the booster shot. I had to sit for another 15 minutes for observation. And then I walked, to a nearby restaurant. I ate and I went home. I said all of that. My work took within an hour. I had finished all this. And that's all I needed to do, a phone call. And we had already completed in India by then 2 billion vaccinations, and most of it given free. And I said, that is the kind of thing you should have learnt to report here. I'm saying you can report all the bad stuff. We used to call it cremation porn in India. Because, bodies are burning. I know on the roads leading up to cemeteries in the United States, there were coffins kept in trucks that stood for,
Days together.
Or kilometers, But that doesn't make as glamorous a picture for you as burning bodies in the night, where you went and shot. So I'm saying an impression making is not the same thing as truth telling. So I'm saying India has problems, but you guys have problems as well. You have to wake up to it. You're a continent, say Australia, with the population of Delhi. That you manage it well, congratulations, but try 1.4 billion people,
with so many languages, so many cultures, so many religions that we have.
Absolutely.
That is the beauty of India.
Yeah.
You know, me being here in Australia for around 30 years, but India still cannot be taken out of us. Even the second generation, the kids that are born to our families, consider themselves to be an Australian of the Indian origin.
I'm reading Andrew Charlton's book on India.
I will gift it to you before you go.
Fabulous. I have a copy. Please gift it to me because
100%.
What I have is a borrowed copy. So I'll
100%.
and hopefully I'll meet him tomorrow morning. It's a fascinating book, very well researched, and from what he says, Indians should take heed. Like enterprising Indians like you. Now I read about you. You're a mechanical engineer.
That's right.
Housekeeping in a hotel. If you're willing to do hard work, and and if you value the dignity that labor, will give you, then you can achieve wonders. Because Indians are brainy people, they're enterprising. You can make fun of us, but we have jugaad. We know how to shortcut problems. So we have to pay heed to this. People like yourself who are kind of thought leaders here. What I'm saying is that soon enough you'll already become the second largest tax-paying community in Australia, and in a decade or so you'll probably be the leaders. In the US, the Indian American community is the highest per capita
Tax-paying.
income. No, highest per capita income
Yes.
in the US they have. Higher than anybody else, So I'm saying it's going to happen here as well. But that comes with responsibility. Not just, you can't just be consumers of a developed economy. You have to develop it even further, and you have to develop with responsibility. I suggested that is why, look, I'm not a wise person, but this is what occurs to me, so I'm telling you. It occurs to me that there are 3 interventions that you should be able to make. The first one you're doing, which is to work hard, to earn money, to develop enterprise and to do business, okay? That is one side. The second one should be knowledge advancement, should be in cutting edge research. You should start educational institutions. You should start universities here. You should incubate great ideas. So knowledge, and it should not just be servicing. It should also be generating new knowledge. New inquiry in the world. That's the second thing. And the third, which I find really lacking, is culture, because cultural consumption is happening. You'll get Sonu Nigam or still recently like Arijit Singh, you'll have 15, 20,000 people coming and watching that. But that passive consumption of culture, it's a good thing. It's very good for the artists to do this. It's very good that brings the community together. But Indians should know how to get together to create new talent as well, to create new narratives, to do new storytelling. India, you're from India, so many stories to tell.
Well, Prakashi, here on record, I would request you in your next visit, I would be very, very happy to organize a workshop. As we said, the writers, the actors, not only the script writers, not only the singers, not only the actors, the other people who are related to the art one way or the other should get together. And if you can give a workshop, that would be wonderful.
I will do even more. If we can do so look, a film is always expensive.
Ji.
But I suggest what we can do is, supposing I come here and I do a workshop and I do a theatre production at the end of it, because you have to realize what you have learnt. It's not like, writing an exam. If you have learnt acting, you should be able to show it, right? So let us say we do a performance. We'll shoot the performance as well. So you have it on record, okay, as a film. You can put it on your channel maybe, And we'll get people to do music, people to sing, people to play instruments, people to act, and I'm happy to direct it.
And we do have talent here. All we need to do is to
100%.
channelize it in such a way that we get the best possible product.
I'm happy. I'm willing to come and do it pro bono. Like I just want, if you pay for me to come and go, and I'll stay with a friend. You don't have to arrange that. Even I'll arrange.
All the artistic people here in Sydney, or rather whole of Australia, this is an invitation from my side to get together and have the benefit of such. You are an institution of your own. While I was doing a research on you, that would be wonderful gift
Thank you,
to
sir.
all the Sydney artists.
I'll be happy to do this.
Moving back to year 2003, I think starting with Stumble. As a maker, you have done acting work in the following years as well. What are the plans?
See, I was not an actor ever before, although sometimes I would act. I'll give you two examples of acting. In the mid-90s, Mahesh Dattani, actually he's going to come here to do a play.
Acha ji.
I've just been told, he's a very good playwright, very good actor, very good director. Mahesh once brought a British director, Michael Walling, because they were rehearsing for The Tempest, Shakespeare's. And like this, my voice had gone that time. He came home and he said, we want you to play Caliban, which is a very big role in The Tempest. We have only like 10 days or 8 days of rehearsals. I said, but my voice is gone. They said, no, but we'll manage, you will look after it. But and he said, will you read? My accent is completely Indian, South Indian, and I read Shakespeare. And the director said, I'll still remember, he said, I said, I'm really sorry about my accent, I said. He said, that's all right. But that is the first time in India I've seen somebody read it with intelligence. He said, yeah. He said that you understand what you're reading. And then I did the role. In those 5-6 days of rehearsals, I did the role. Another time, I was in Delhi as Chief of News Service for the Asian Age group. Then I had a quarrel with the editor of the paper and I quit. And I came back to jobless, close to 40 years of age, and I didn't have a job. I came to Bangalore. And my brother said, Arjun Sajjanani is doing The Fire in the Rain, Girish Karnad's, and he wants somebody to play Rabia, another big character in the play. 5 days of rehearsals. I went and acted in that. Girish Karnad came and saw the play. I mean, I knew him, of course, but he didn't know I was an actor. I also didn't know I was an actor. He came and saw the play and he cast me in a movie. Like that I had done before, here and there. But in 2012, suddenly one of the boys who really used to admire me because of a serial I was doing as a director, I wrote and directed it called Garba. He was a big fan of that, and he was in Bombay and he told me, sir, will you act in this movie? Earlier he'd asked me to act in TV commercials, but I would never do it. So I said, what movie is this? I'm not an actor. He says, no sir, just look at this. And he sent me 2 scenes and a character sketch. It was beautiful, I said, who wrote this? He said, a lady called Juhi Chaturvedi, and the director is Shujit Sarkar.
Oh.
So said, you do the audition by yourself. We will not do it. You just do and send whatever you. So I composed the scene with my own actors, and I did that scene as an audition, and I sent the tape.
So the director in you helped to create the scene so beautifully.
And it went, and Shujit called me and said, you should do it. I said, but I'm not an actor. I don't know Hindi. At that time, my Hindi was horrible, And so I acted, and now I have acted in 90 films, I don't know, in 5-6 languages. So you don't know what turn things will take. So in 2003, it was some exactly similar accident. I'm an engineer, so I don't get scared with technology. So we were doing a TV series, and we had to use beta.
Mhm.
We had to record on beta, and then we had to transfer the edit it non-linear. We had to dump it down somewhere, transfer it non-linear, then put it back in some other format, in DVC Pro or something, and give it to the channel. I said, so much compression happens. Why am I shooting it on Betacam? Okay. See, you're an engineer, you immediately understand. I'm going to compress this. Why am I spending so much money? So, and I was shooting with multiple cameras, 3 cameras. So I asked somebody I knew to go to Singapore and bring 2 Handycam. Okay. Small.
Handycam was a big thing that time.
National Panasonic Leica lens, he got 2 really small cameras. I'm talking about 2000. Imagine. And I shot it with that, and I would send them the tapes. Then I said, I'm using a new camera. I'm shooting in a digital camera. They said send sample. I sent. They said there's amazing results. It's amazing because it doesn't have compression, okay? So what cameras are you using? I said, I'm using Panasonic, I said. And after we had shot about 40 episodes, from Ramoji Film City, the studio staff came to see how I was shooting it. They came and saw the cameras.
The little one.
They were so shocked. They said, you're shooting with this? I said, yes. So I claimed that I shot the first TV serial in India digitally for professional television. Then when the serial stopped, I decided to make a movie. That's how I made Stumble. That's why I'm coming around like that.
Right.
When I did Stumble, I shot on celluloid, but I didn't want to get Nagra 24 frames per second sound. This camera that I got for TV, I used that to record pilot sound.
Okay.
And then, I went to the dubbing studio. They said, no, this is 25 frames per second because it's PAL, and film is 24 frames per second. The lip sync will not happen. I said, it'll happen, You expand it, by ratio 1:25. X into 1 divided by...
This is what we've been used to, doing all that mathematics all life.
Yeah, I said, they said it'll distort. I said 1 in 25, 1 of 25th second, no distortion will happen, okay? No equipment is that good, I said. So you do it. When they saw the lip sync, they were astonished. They said, how does it perfectly lip sync? To me, it is like, it's mathematics. Why will it not lip sync, And one last example I'll give. When we did the non-linear edit because for television we had the setup. So we took the film, got the film done to video, and then edited it. Then they said you have to go to use a professional editing setup to generate a edit decision list. Should slingshot it this and then send it to Bombay for cutting and all that. I said, no, I'll not do all that. Somebody will sit and write the H code numbers. Then, I got my assistants to sit and write the H code. It took 3 days. Entire film they wrote H code numbers. And I sent that to Bombay for the cutting. They saw the H code numbers and cut and assembled them. So basically, if you're an engineer, this idea that knowledge is separate in silos is nonsense. You apply this knowledge anywhere, So today we have the new education policy in India, and in the next 5-10 years, India will have a much better education system than we have now. But at that time, it was very hard 20 years ago to convince people, 25 years ago to convince people that all this is possible. Yeah, so...
Just moving away to a different topic.
Sorry,
I'm feeling
I'm just...
no.
Yeah.
Even I'm feeling very emotional at the moment because while we were talking, you reminded me of my initial days of me working as a room attendant in one of the five-star hotels here in Sydney. And guess what? I happened to meet the President of India. I happened to meet the Prime Minister of India in the same hotel.
See, Kismat, you know.
Like Anupam Kher, he normally says, "Kuch bhi ho sakta hai."
कुछ भी हो सकता
Working as a room attendant in the hotel and the same place going back 20 years
दिल
later.
लगा के काम करना
बिल्कुल.
है. हाँ.
Welcome. Does the writer in you want to do more?
I want to see now. I have 3 or 4 very definite ambitions now. One is that when I go back to Bangalore, my wife is in Toronto because her sister-in-law passed away in Toronto. She's there now. She'll come back end of this month. And on September 1st, we'll go to New York because this play that I'm doing in Australia, that I just finished in Australia, Counting and Cracking, we have 20 shows of that in New York.
New York.
Public Theatre in New York is presenting it. 20 shows, okay? It's any actor's dream to go be able to perform there. So 20 shows will finish. And then I'll come back to India. And the first thing I'll do is I'll begin to write a 3-part novel on Bangalore. And the 3 parts will be 20-year slices, of Bangalore in the last 60 years, how it has changed. In a way, it's a story of India because Bangalore represents, Pandit Nehru said, in 1962 that while other cities of India represent in many ways the past and its history, Bangalore suggests a future of India, So I'm going to write. That is one thing. It's like instead of writing history, which is always contested, I want to write fiction. Okay? The truth is more important than fact, So I'm going to write. That is one. The second thing I want to do is I want to bring a play I have done, Parv. In Kannada it's called Parva by Dr. S.L. Bhairappa. Very, very famous novel. It's Mahabharata without miracles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very, very brave, brilliant, and very provocative work. And in Kannada, I've done some 57 shows of it. I have done means the repertory company where I wrote and directed, did it. I adapted the novel for the stage. Now I've translated it into English and I've done 6 shows. I want to bring that to Australia and tour the US with it. Let's see if I can pull it off. That is my second ambition. The third is I want to come to Australia and I want to direct a play. Now that, it is Kismat, you suggested that first, that you should workshop and do a play. I really want to do that. Yeah, so...
Look, you can count on us and my whole team to be there, trying to make it happen as soon as we can rather than later.
Absolutely.
It will happen for sure because you have decided it. But what I'm trying to say is...
Sai is the executive producer for it, Sai, the person who brought me here. So if you're in touch with him, I will definitely come and do it. See, I'm not even hesitating. I'm like, I have many friends here now, but you suggested it. So I'll think that it is a...
It has to start somewhere.
Yeah, no, but...
The idea has been floated.
Somebody is asking me, instead of my saying it. So I'll start with you. I'll do that. Okay? We'll do the play in English because we should find a way to unite Indians here, Everybody has got their own... You come from India, represent India, not just, your language and community. Do that as well. But India is Bharat. You should represent Bharat also, Yeah.
Love it. Prakashji, before I move on to my interview any further, the Australia's Pivot to India by Andrew Charlton.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I've been reading this book. Thank you so much. I've been
This is
reading
your
this
copy.
book. I'm going to carry this tomorrow to meet Mr. Charlton and get his autograph on this book. And I'll take it with me to India. It's a wonderful work. I've not finished it, but
You would love
very
it.
beautiful.
You would
Yeah,
love
very,
it.
very well researched. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charlton.
Yeah.
You are no stranger to Australia. Tell me more about the Helpman Award that you won in 2019.
In back in early 2000, I don't remember exactly whenever Ranga Shankara in Bangalore was started by Shankar Nag's wife, an actor, Arundhati. She called me around sometime in the afternoon and said, we are opening Ranga Shankara today. I said, I know, I'm coming in the evening. She said, no, it's suddenly been suggested to us that it should not be just a press conference. We should do a short skit. So Atul Kumar, one of India's most famous directors now, the most famous, I would say, in many ways, he's written the sketch and he's going to direct it. So he wanted to know somebody who will learn lines quickly and come and do. I said, but Aru, I am not an actor. At that time, I never considered myself an actor. And she said, no, but you come. I met him, and the sketch was, there is a big mirror with the glass removed as then, and an actor is applying makeup, an older actor. A young person is asking him about the theatre, and the older actor is telling what the theatre means. That was the sketch. I'm playing the older actor, and I learned the lines, and I did that as I'm applying makeup. There, this is what we did. That Atul, that's how he had met me. That's all he knew about me. So these writers in a writer-director team here, Eamon Flack and Shakti Dharand, whose family story it is, Counting and Cracking. His mother actually had to flee Sri Lanka in 1983 on Black July. They came to India. They sent me first a script and said, will you audition for this play? I said, it's a very good play. Same thing I told them, I'm not an actor. Will you let me do the play in India? They said, no, we haven't done it ourselves. We have come to audition you.
Okay.
Then they came to Bangalore and then they did a reading. And they said, that's the first time same thing, that's the first time somebody has read it without actually hamming it kind of thing. So we will be in touch with you. They didn't contact me again. After many months, they said, we're coming again, for a second audition. I said, no, I can't do now because my daughter is getting married in that time that you're telling me. So I cannot, I have to be at the wedding, I cannot do shows then. Then they said, we are coming anyway. They came and they asked me to read. I'm the only one they're reading to. They're asking to audition. Then I read it, and while I was still performing, they said, stop, sit, we want you. I said, but how will I come, my daughter? And then I went home, I spoke to my daughter. Can you believe it? We're a theatre family. We found out that anyway that date was not so good or something. And then
Oh, the wedding date wasn't that auspicious, so the date was changed.
The date was changed. That
Destiny.
was just luck, that the date wasn't auspicious, but we changed the date for me. The boys' family, they accepted it. And I came and did this play, Counting and Cracking. It won many. Sydney Festival in 2019. We did 25 shows that time. It won 7 or 8 Helpman Awards. I won Best Actor Male.
Yes.
That's how that's an award I covet. In India, they'll say you got an award because you knew somebody, that you influenced the jury. What can I do here in Australia? But I got it here.
Counting and Cracking. Such a success all over. I think 28 shows in Melbourne, 28 shows in Sydney.
This time, yeah.
How satisfied are you with this?
See, when we did it in Sydney in 2005, it was already a sensation, you know.
5 years ago.
6 years, yeah, 5 years ago. It was
I think
already-
Sydney Town Hall.
Sydney Town Hall, exactly. It was sensational, it was. And then we went to Adelaide Festival. Adelaide Festival is a very prestigious festival.
Gee.
We did about 10 shows there. And then at that time already there was talk about a world tour because of the phenomenal success it had become. We had not yet won awards, but the play was beginning to make name as like play of the decade, you know, Australian work of the last 20 years and all that people were talking.
It's a story of a Sri Lankan family.
Yeah, beautiful to be based on real life characters. Then COVID came. For 2 years, nothing happened. And 2022, we went to Edinburgh Fringe, which is the world's largest arts festival. We performed it there, and then we performed at the Birmingham Arts Festival.
Wow.
And now we did the Melbourne season for the Melbourne Rising Festival, and we came and performed these 28 shows at Carriage Works. Now we'll go and perform
20 shows
in New York, where, you know, public theatre is where Cabaret Hamilton was done. Hamilton was incubated and done by them, you know, fantastic, you know, such a prestigious thing. Yeah, so it's a big one. So we'll finish that. And, you know, it's an event that's now, I've lived with this for 6 years now. It's a very big story, you know, in my life now, you know. That role is, I met the people of the family, you know, so, because they live in Sydney. I met the extended family also. I met many distinguished Sri Lankans. You know, Bandaranaika, whose name is mentioned many times in the play. His daughter came to watch the play. From New York, she came to watch the play, you know.
Interesting.
Sunetra Bandaranaika. She was very emotional, you know, so it's a big work.
It is.
Yeah. You know, I think one of your former prime ministers came to watch the play, you know, so. Or Malcolm Turnbull.
Malcolm Turnbull.
Yeah, he came to watch the play, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think the theatre is obviously your first love, as I can see.
Absolutely.
You know, that excitement and enlightenment that I see on your face the moment we talk about theatre. But an 8-hour-long play in 2 languages surely is a tall order for anyone. How do you plan such huge productions?
Firstly, in the 600,000 villages of India, there are annual village festivals. Okay, the village deity is taken through the streets, you know, and people worship the deity because the village deity is across caste and community. The village deity is worshipped, right? So a play performance is usually done that night, and it will be borrowed from the Indian epics and the Puranas, you know, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Puranas. That's what the performance will be, and they work all night. Indian theatre forms are all night performances. They start at 10 in the night, and, you know, they stop when the sun comes out. That's when you sing what we call the Mangala, you know, what the benedictory song you sing as the play ends. This idea of a 2-hour play with structured interval, where there's a separation from the audience and the performance, you know, is all Western. It's not Indian. So India is used to that. This is one. The second is, people are willing to binge watch a web series. They're willing to watch 200 days a year their stupid cricket match for 8 hours.
I just did a World Cup gossip program on cricket recently.
So I'm saying, you know, what is the big deal, you know? We give 4 breaks. So, and I'm not the first one. Many people had done it before. So I adapted this novel. I took permission from the author, Dr. S.L. Bhairappa. I adapted and I showed him the script. He approved the script. And then I was asked to do it by the director of Rangayana, a government repertory in Mysore, called Addanda Kariyappa. He asked me to do it.
Lovely.
I should mention his name actually. And it was commissioned, and I did it. And then people asked, who will watch for 8 hours? Even then they said, it's a very dry play. It's very difficult. Okay, it has got live music, but there's no great entertainment. It's a very strong, relentless talk play. They said, who will watch? And in Canada, eventually they did 57 shows of it. Not one person left. Okay? But the day I watched it in the beginning, first run, 3 people went. So I went outside and I asked them, why are you leaving? They said, it's the last bus. We have to go. Because the first...
So it was not the show, it was not the play, some other reason.
The first 3 shows ran for 10.5 hours.
Oh my God.
And they had to go because they had come from out of town to watch the play. And the last bus was there. That's why they were leaving. Others people have not left. And you know, when we're at the end of the show, people stand up and applaud for 15 minutes. You know?
Just revising myself.
Just
The name of the play was
Parva.
Parva.
Huh? And so I translated that into English after the 57th show, after the run stopped
Okay.
in Mysore, from my own theatre company, which is Center for Film and Drama in Bangalore. I remounted a new production, entirely financed by my daughter and son-in-law. Okay? Because, you know, our theatre group is now 20 years old. We've never applied for a government grant and never taken private sponsorship as well. We depend on box office. Okay? We lose money many times, but most times perhaps, but we keep doing that, okay? So that is why I thought of that play, and I want to do that in Australia and in the US, you know, so let us see.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Look forward to it. Look, I think if time permits me, I would continue my conversation on and on and on and on. Motivational speaker and mentor as well. Having this much busy schedule, writing, acting, directing, plays, traveling, where do you find time?
See, I'm always late for everything. I know people get really frustrated, fed up with me. In Australia is such a disciplined place with so many rules. Australia is most passionate about rules. I get frustrated with rules, you know, and they're frustrated with me because I'm always late, you know, and I don't fall in line. Not that I want to defy them. It's just that I'm not used to it, you know. They get frustrated with me, but I don't find time. I can't find enough time, but I try my best to do as much as I can. Look, only action is in our hand. Karam is all we can do. And whether you get a result that you desire or not, it's not in our hands, you know. Actually, there's a very good thing that Krishna tells Arjuna that somebody told me. I mean, I'm not an expert. So he says, you know, in the game of dice, you know, I'm the one that falls. Krishna tells him, because when you throw the dice, you have an illusion that you're playing. You're throwing the dice, but you can't control how it falls.
That's right.
Right? You have to be Shakuni, you have to cheat for that. You know, otherwise you can't, right? Yeah? And Krishna says, in the game of dice, you know, I'm the one that falls. To me, it's a very beautiful metaphor, you know. But you can't control the result, but you can control the action. And that is what we should try to do. If you say, look, the result is not guaranteed, I won't act. If you won't act, There will be no result.
There'll be
anyway.
no result. You got to be in
Anyway.
it to win it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, so well put. Yeah, that's it.
Talking about Lord Krishna,
Yeah.
we at Voice aajKal are producing this 48 course, the 48 course, where the whole Mahabharata happened. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to document all the temples and the places where Kaurav, Pandavas and Lord Krishna.
I want to say something about Krishna and
Ji.
Navneet. It's important for me. You know, Rama and Krishna are two very important types of the Bharatiya,
Sanskrit.
you know, Sanskrit and imagination, Kalpana. Okay. So Rama is Maryada Purusha, is a person who is defined by duty. You know, he loves his wife, but he sends a pregnant wife into forest because his obligation as king is higher than his obligation to her as a husband. So he's always dharam sankat, he's always conflicted by the higher obligation. Because his father has made a promise to the wife, to fulfill his father's promise, he decides to make a sacrifice. But the father dies because of Putra Viyoga Shoka, you know, when he goes, his father dies. So he does duty at any cost. Krishna is the exact reverse. Krishna is the cutting edge idea, you know. When everything fails, only he comes into the picture. Think about him. He does the Rajasuya Yaga for the Kurus, expands their empire. He doesn't take a post. He doesn't take a reward. He doesn't accept a title. No certificate, no money, no power. Okay? He wins and secures Dwarka. He doesn't become king. You know? He's the example that he preaches. One more example I'll tell you. I asked once. You know, Amartya Sen in his Argumentative Indian, or one of these books, he says that Arjun is a pacifist, but Krishna is a warmonger. See, Arjun doesn't look to stop the war. He wants to retire personally, that's all. He is not looking to stop the war, right? And his reasons to leave the war are not so noble in any case. It's nepotism reasons he's got. He doesn't mind if poor soldiers die, you know. My relatives are dying, that's his thing, you know. Whereas Krishna, at risk to his life, goes to the court and tells them to hold Duryodhana accountable, not let him do the war. And Duryodhana says, arrest Krishna, and Krishna escapes. My point is, he's the only person who actively takes steps to try and prevent the war. So Krishna always he doesn't come into operation to be a ruler, to enjoy power. He comes when all the system has collapsed. He comes. He doesn't come till then. So his leadership is leadership of the unprecedented. He does something when a leader is required. Rama does stuff which is not required. See, Rama going to the forest was not good for the kingdom, was not good for his father, was not good for his wife, was not good for his brother, was not good for his brother's family. Urmila, what will she do? She's just newly married to Lakshman, you know. So, I'm not criticizing Rama. The author is doing an illustration of what it means to have. Krishna is unconflicted. And you can criticize him as much as you want. But there is no character like him. Apparently, many people say in global writing and imagination, there is no equivalent to his character. And even today is misunderstood. He marries the 16 women because Narakasura has taken them. And you know, who will accept them? You know, when Sita is with
Ravan.
Ram subjects her to a purity test. When the 16,000 women are captured by Narakasura, and when he kills Narakasura, he marries the 16,000 of them, so that they're not subjected to that test. He's a unique model.
Well, in the next conversation, I would love to continue on Lord Krishna
Yeah,
and go on and on and on.
yeah. He's an amazing figure.
I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
But before I wrap up, when do we see you back in Australia again?
Really, I'll be in touch with you. I have your number now. I'll be in touch with you, and I'll write to you with a plan. You just share your email ID also in that thing, and I'll write to you with a plan. Really, I'm very keen.
I look forward to that.
Okay? Yeah.
The conversation which I would never like to end at this point of time, but it's never late. We will have more conversations coming here. An actor, director, writer, activist, mentor, motivational speaker, engineer, and whatnot. Prakash Belawadi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Navneet. Fantastic. Thank you.
My name is Navneet Anand, signing out for Voice aajKal, our medium, your message. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
VG Times. Be with the times.